Hello and welcome back to the Doctor's Garage. In this video today, I'm going to be telling you, as much as I love my Audi R8 V10, I'm actually going to be selling it. And the thing is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It works perfectly. In fact, it's in the best condition it's probably been in for a long time. But for me, it's just not something I want to keep long term. So I bought this Audi R8 V10. It's the 5.2 litre version with the V10 engine that a lot of people will say is one of the best engines that was made by Audi, a Lamborghini. It's the S-tronic gearbox, so the fast shift gearbox rather than the R-tronic, and this is a facelifted Gen 1 version. And for a long time, and still now, even when I look at it, it's still one of my favourite cars. It has been one of my favourite cars for a long time, and the styles, the look, I think they're still quite timeless. And this car here is now over 10 years old, and I still don't think it looks like an 11-year-old car, which is what it is. This is a relatively low mileage example. It's done about 41,000 miles-ish, 42,000 miles. And I've actually discovered something on it that I didn't even realise. It has another £7,000 option added to it that I never knew when I bought it, and I'll show you what that is. Also, when I bought my R8, I wanted to make sure I wasn't buying a car that had been crash damaged, written off, or anything like that, particularly with a vehicle like this. That's why I use the website Car Vertical to get a full history check on everything I wanted to know about the car. Had it been crashed? Had it been damaged? Had it been written off? What was the mileage history like? Car Vertical is a great place to get all that information on your next vehicle purchase. You can use my code DOCTOR for 20% off your next vehicle check for the next vehicle you'll be buying, to make sure you don't buy a bad one. Click the link below in the description or pinned in the comments. Around to the driver's side and take a look inside. In here, there is this little button. I put it on my Instagram a while ago asking you guys, what is this? Does anyone have any idea what this is? Because quite strange. It's a 12-volt cigarette lighter sort of switch. It's got the lanyard on it, so you can probably take it out, and it's got like it's a button. It does press down. It lights up when it's in the car. It goes with a white ring, and I thought originally this was some kind of an immobilizer, that the car wouldn't start without this in because it had the lanyard on it. So I thought, if you take this out when you park it up, no one can take the car. I have since done a bit of research and just searched around what this is, and I've actually discovered that this logo is the Akrapovic logo, the Akrapovic Exhaust Company logo. And I've found out since then that this car, at some point in its life, had been fitted, or been fitted, a valved Akrapovic titanium exhaust system, which this is the switch for. And when it's in and lit up, it's white. Normally, when you press it, it goes red, and that's the switch for it. And then it opens the valves to this immense sounding titanium exhaust, which I'll take you for a drive on in this video, because it is an incredible bit of kit. And at the time, Akrapovic themselves made exhausts for the R8, and they were one of the most expensive and probably one of the most rated exhausts, and this car has it on as well, which is a great feature that I never knew was on the car when I bought it, but it does have that too. Inside these cars too, they are pretty modern. There's nothing really about them that would suggest it is, 11 years old. Your dash is quite good. It doesn't have a virtual cockpit, but it still has a little screen in the middle. That's a bit dated probably, but the rest of the dials are still quite nice. All this is pretty good. I think if I was to keep this car for longer, I would change this for an Apple CarPlay system. The Audi navigation system is a bit dated in this, but really it feels quite modern. It feels quite clean. Compared to other cars that are from 2013, this actually feels like it's a few years old, but it's not that old. I think the other thing a lot of people do, and what I'd probably do, is get the steering wheel fattened up and kind of get it a bit nicer, because they go quite shiny with time, the leather on these. But apart from that, it's super clean inside. And again, like I say, not something you really think is that old at all. So I guess the question is, why am I selling it? And I still do question that daily at the moment, because I do love it. It's a great car, and when I can go out in it and enjoy it, it's brilliant. But I think as an everyday car, even though you can daily these probably better than any other sports supercar, I've never had any other, so I wouldn't really know, but I think this car is meant to be very good for a daily sort of driving car. I have used it to go to work and stuff like that, and it it feels, when you're inside and driving, if you haven't got that exhaust open, it feels much like an Audi A3 or something like that, which is quite strange considering when you get out, it doesn't look like an Audi A3. So it's a really good day-to-day driving car, but there's something around it that it just doesn't connect in the same way other vehicles I've owned. So I've had obviously my Land Rover Defenders, the old shape. I just love Defenders still, and I got so much more pleasure out of owning my old Defender, the 90 Keswick Green one, and hopefully my new pickup that I'm going to be sorting out soon. So much more pleasure out of owning and driving that and doing bits to it that you can't really do to this car. There's not much you can add to them. They are what they are. They're phenomenal bits of kit, and it's very fast, it's very fun, but it doesn't really have the same soul that my Defender had. It's very much like my experience when I used to have motorcycles, like super bikes. It's the same sort of thing. You just kind of, unless you've got like a club or a group you go out with regularly, you kind of just tinkering around and then just come back home again. It doesn't have the same soul as my Defender had, and so for me, I'm going to be getting rid of it. So I'm going to be getting rid of it very, very soon. I'm going to be putting it on the market. It's a great time to sell a car like this because obviously it's a Spider, and so this time of year I think it will sell quite well, I hope. You get so much car for the price of them, considering what else is on the market. They are amazingly well priced. So when this goes on the market, it will be under £50,000, and for a car like this with the 5.2 litre V10 in it, which is essentially the Lamborghini Gallardo engine, and the E-Shift, E-Gear, whatever it was called, which is the S-Tronic in this car, it's amazing value for money, considering you're basically getting the same sort of car, the same performance, the same supercar style performance really, for a whole lot cheaper. And right now I think they are a very good car to buy. If I was buying one to keep as like more of an investment, because I think these cars also will go up in value eventually, particularly the models like, I think if you were going to get one, it would be either a very early, so 2008 Gen 1 V8 manual, probably would be good because that was the first car that was launched, or then probably even better than that, one that would be more enjoyable to drive would be the V10 manual. So this generation of R8 was made until 2015. This is a 13. In 2015 it became the Gen 2, and they never made a manual in those cars from what I understand. So this was the last time you could get a V10 engine, 5.2 litre, naturally aspirated with a manual gearbox, and they're pretty sought after, and generally the prices of them are a little higher. You'd also want one that had a hard top rather than the Spider. I think those cars eventually will go up, because obviously they've discontinued the R8s now this year, so they're not making them anymore, and I do think still they're one of the most iconic designs in automotive history really. The R8 was a very well received design when it was launched originally, and like I say, it still looks good to this day. Pretty timeless in the way that it looks. Anyway, that's probably enough talking about my decision making. Let's go for a drive and let me show you what the Akrapovic exhaust valve does sound like when it's open for one last time before I get rid of this car. When you get onto the roads, it's pretty good to be able to open it up. This will probably be the last time you see my R8 on the channel. It's time to focus more on my Defender really. So my Defender pickup is what I'm going to be focusing a lot of time on, getting a lot of stuff done to, and yeah, time to let the R8 go. But thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you guys on the next one.